Hello, hello. This is Lisa Cara from Inbalance Pilates. I wanted to welcome you so much to this feature interview today. I am so thrilled and pleased and excited to bring you today Taja V Simpson. Taja, thank you so much for being my guest today.
Yay! Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being here and amongst all the busyness and everything that you have going on. Um,
Mhm,
Taja is an actor, an author. She's the author of the book Cracking the Acting Code. She
mhm,
also is going to be a contributing author in the Women Who Shine. So she's one of the Inspired Impact book series. And
mhm.
that's how we became connected through our publisher, Kate Butler. And she is also, if you watch Tyler Perry's The Oval on BET, she is an actor on there with being Priscilla.
Yeah.
So, welcome so much. It's such a pleasure to have you here. I was so looking forward to our discussion tonight, and it's just such a pleasure to have you on. So, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm happy to be here. I appreciate it.
Yes. So tell us about the upcoming chapter. So, with being in Women Who Shine, I wanted
Mhm,
to ask you. I mean, you've already have your one book out with acting and all things
mhm,
acting. You have a fantastic course coming up that
mhm.
you're definitely going to tell us about. But when it comes to Women Who Shine, how did you decide that that's something that you wanted to be a part of? Tell me a bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one of my friends referred me to Kate Butler, and I did a little research and had my call with her. And that initial call, I was sold. I was like, I want to be a part of this. This is a place where, women are coming to sharing their story. They're growing, they're evolving, they're empowering and encouraging each other. And that's completely in my wheelhouse, 1000%. Like that's all a part of my brand. So I was like, yeah, I definitely want to, want to do this. Um, and then at the time there was a different book that was already launching called Women Who Empower, right? So I was like, oh, let me order the book, let me read the book and go from there. And just I love it because it is like this compilation of all these amazing stories and journeys of women who've overcome fantastic things in their life. And now they're this brand new person. And so being a part of something that would allow me to grow and evolve in such a positive way, it made me say, where do I sign up? What do I need to do? What are the first steps? And that's exactly what I did.
Fantastic. And then that book will be coming out this summer. This
Women
summer.
Who Shine will be coming out this summer, and I'm super excited because I've written a book specifically for acting, right? Cracking the Acting Code. It's a practical step-by-step guide on how to become a professional actor. So that's something very specific. It's a complete niche, if you will. This is more so about me. So this brings you to a different level of being super vulnerable and sharing a part of you that I've never shared with the world, and allowing myself to just be that open and bold in a sense, because you're kind of coming out of this shell. And so that's what I started to do when I started working on the chapter for this particular book. And that gets me sometimes, I have moments of like, oh my God, okay, we're gonna do it. And then from there I work through it, and then I'm like, yes, I'm here, we're doing it, and I'm ready.
And would you say that feeling there, that being vulnerable, quite different to being on stage, being on set, different
Absolutely,
level of
because
vulnerability?
absolutely, when I am fortunate enough to step into the shoes of another character, right? I'm living out their world, their life. I'm telling their story from their levels, different levels of vulnerability and passions and so forth. So there's a barrier there, right? Because I'm walking in someone else's shoes. This isn't Taja. This is Priscilla, or this is Stacy, or this is, insert character name here. This is me. There's no hiding behind anyone. There's no, well, let me make a strong choice about this decision for this character in this scene in this moment. This is my life. This is me. So that brought me to a different level of vulnerability that I'd never experienced. And I realized I'm now at a place where I'm okay with that level, to being able to expose and then grow from it. And so that's where I am now. But it took the time to get here. Yeah.
To process what part of the story you're going to tell and things like
Right.
that. And that's one
Exactly.
question I have. I
Hmm.
find that working with Kate Butler, we've all with going through the chapters and being a contributing author, we're all going through the call with her and talking about,
Hmm.
various parts in our life. And as you said, just kind of putting it all out there, not trying to
Hmm.
censor and just letting it kind of go with the flow and just land on through her magic and expertise that
Right.
exact part in the story that is just so impactful and insightful and inspiring, and the moments where we do shine, where maybe we even, we're looking at it in a different light in that
Hmm.
moment. So when you went into that call with Kate, were you thinking, okay, I'm going to be a contributing author in this book. I think I would like to write about this time period in my life, and this is kind
Hmm.
of where I'm going with it. And if so, was that what came out of the end of that call, the conclusion?
Yeah, great question. So you're absolutely right. I was prepared for the call. She gives you like different questions to answer to prepare yourself to figure out what you want to talk about. And I was ready. And I think at the time I was speaking about a portion of my life where I was engaged, my fiance left me, I was devastated, I was depressed, and how I had to kind of pick myself up and get back out there again, right? In
Mhm.
life in general. And so that was like, I guess, the overview of what I felt like I was ready to discuss and ready to expose. And when we got on the call, she said, just really quick before we get started, uh, I want you to know to just use this time, this space as just a place for you to just dump it all on me. Like whatever comes up, just say it, even if it makes it in the chapter or not. Let's just get it out there. And whatever shows up in you right now, just give it to me. And in that moment, Lisa, in that moment, it was like a complete shift in me. And I was like, okay. So I had to make a decision. Am I going to be obedient to what I'm feeling my inner spirit say to me? Or am I going to be defiant and be like, no, 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 I'm only going to do this thing because this is what I prepared and this is what I know and this is what I've answered questions on. This is what I'm doing, right? I've been there and I'm like, no, this is what I prepared. This is what I'm doing. What are you talking about? No. But in this moment, I was like, okay. And I just opened up to her about growing up in Louisiana and growing up being a Black woman, dealing with colorism, dealing with racism, and my whole life, because I was darker skinned, I wasn't able to play with kids down the street from me because I was darker than a brown paper bag test. I would go places and people would be like, well, how does it feel to be the only dark skinned person in the room? Like, are you okay? Like, oh my God, this is crazy. It was like different things that was around me my entire life that kept telling me I'm less than, I'm less than, I'm nothing, I'm nothing, I'm nothing. And then how I had to fully overcome that to be this person I am today. But as I'm sharing this story, certain parts of it I couldn't even get it out because I'm crying. There are moments she's crying as she's listening to this. There's moments where it was just purging. She said just purge and
Mhm.
and that's what happened. And I completely purged and I just let it go. And it was a release that I was not aware that I needed. I shared with her how someone in my family what her nickname for me was Ed, an ugly thing. So my name was Ugly Thing. Come here, Ugly Thing. Ed, don't touch me. She black. Ed. Like that's the kind of stuff that she would do, right? Looking at your face, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of stuff that I had to overcome. And so I was like, but I really in the chapter need to get people to understand the time and where I was because everyone had a little nickname, but people don't realize when you're doing these things, the children especially, you're killing them. You know what I mean? You're just killing my self-esteem. Is breaking me down. And it wasn't until I was later in junior high school that my mother really took note that, oh, this isn't a joke to her. This is really affecting her. And then she had to come in and even more so and started building me up and building up my self-esteem. But unfortunately, it was so much damage that had been done. I had done the work. Now I'm confident. Now I believe in myself a little bit, but it was a facade because I'd never dealt with the inside. I was just pushing it down. So I realize now in hindsight, I learned how to compartmentalize at a very young age, right? Because I just wanted her to like me, even though she was doing this. Now my sister is of lighter skin tone. And so she was her favorite because she was lighter and I was the ugly, and she literally called me Ugly Thing. Like that was my name. And so I had to learn how to work through that, and then work through where I live, work through I can't play with kids in my school because, or kids down the street from me because I'm darker than a brown paper bag test, and go to college and I'm still dealing with the same thing. And then, so it was just around me all the time, the constant reminder that you're nothing, you're less than, you're nothing, you're less than, you're it, you're an ugly thing. Oh God, keep saying it, Jesus. And what that took for me to be able to overcome that. And it wasn't until I was later in life that I realized, I learned what affirmations were. I learned the power of the spoken word. I learned how I had to reprogram my brain about the things I thought about myself, because I was tearing myself down. I was tearing myself up, not like subconsciously. Well, I can't do that because I look like this, or they're not going to cast me because I'm too dark for that. Well, I can't do that because I look like this, and all these things that we tell ourselves. I can't do that. I'm overweight. I can't do that. My hair is whatever we tell ourselves in our mind. I'm definitely guilty of that. Yeah. And as I'm purging this story to her, when we were done, I was like, okay, yep, I'm ready to tell this story. And I guess in that moment, my spirit realized that I was. And now I'm excited because I feel like that's something that's been in me for so long that I always was ashamed of. Like, I never wanted to tell anyone, like, oh my God, this is what I went through. No, I don't want to. I wanted to keep this secret. The thing about keeping something a secret and not fully exposing it is that you're giving it so much power. The stakes are getting so much higher. It's like, oh no, I can't do this because I know if I tell people this is going to hurt me, and I don't want to hurt even more. Right. And I had to release it, surrender it, and work through it. And that's what I've done. And so now I'm ready to share that journey with the world.
In Women Who Shine.
In Women Who Shine.
All right. Yes. And at the time, I mean, it sounds like you had a supportive mother that you were able to turn to and really share some of the feelings that were really going on. Were you able to talk to any other family members or friends, or it's just more something that buried and...
Just my mom and dad. My mom and dad are still together. They have a great relationship, which is awesome. But if there's only two people in the world telling you you're beautiful and you're amazing, but yet when you go out into the world is saying whatever, you're not really going to believe the only two people in your corner. Yeah. And what I've had to learn to believe is we have to believe in ourselves. It doesn't matter whether you have two people or zero people in your corner. If that's something you have to believe in yourself. Yes. But as a kid growing up, that was too advanced, for an 8-year-old. And yeah, they're telling you that. But then when I go to school, I'm getting bullied all the time from looking the way I look. You know what I mean? I gotta like keep my head up and not let them think that it's really bothering me when it's killing me on the inside just to get through the day. So that's not really helping me in the sense of like, I think I can when everyone else is telling me I can't. And then I don't believe it either. Yep. I didn't know then that all a belief is something you tell yourself over and over again until you believe it. I was believing what everyone was telling me. Yeah. And now where did that affirmation part come into play? Like, was it something that you sought out? I want to learn some more personal development and things like that. Or was there someone in your life that was kind of bringing you those lessons? Yeah, great question. I was depressed from my broken engagement. And I said to myself, sitting on the sofa for months, day would go to night, night would go to day, and I just couldn't move, right? And I was like, okay, I can't keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. That's the exact definition of insanity. I have to do something else. I don't know what that is, but I have to seek out new ways to think, to live, what have you. And that led me down personal growth, personal development movement, if you will. The first book that I was introduced to is The Wisdom of Florence Scovel Shinn. And this book has like 4 in it: The Game of Life, The Power of the Spoken Word, and all these things. And I'm sitting here like, wow, your words are your wands. And I'm like, as I'm reading the book, it's changing my mind. Changing my mind ultimately changed my life. I understood the power of the spoken word. I understood if you say all these negative things, then you can watch those things happen, because that's manifestation, that's law of attraction, And then I realized, I'm like, okay, if God said to me, you can have whatever it is you think about, whatever it is you talk about, that's what's going to show up in your life. Are you going to constantly talk about all these negative things because that's what's showing up in your life? Or are you going to talk about the things that you desire, that you want, the things that really make you feel good about yourself, and then allow that to show up in your life? Once I got that, I was like, oh, I'm never saying a negative word again in my life. I was anal. I became really, anal with changing my vernacular, changing the vernacular of everyone around me, not speaking in a negative way in any way. I had to stop and think about, okay, how do I say this? I'm not going to say I can't do this. I'm going to say this is an area of growth for me. Oh, wow, that feels different. That's different energy. That feels like I can do this versus, well, I'm not going to be able to do that. So I had to come up with different phrases and things that allowed me to believe and have better energy around it, that made me feel good versus the things that I was so conditioned and people around you are so conditioned to saying, well, I don't have money for this. Well, I don't know if we can do that. Well, girl, I don't know how you going to do that, girl. That's crazy. These things that everyone says all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Once I got into this bubble, I was like, oh, wow. I can't talk to anybody. It was like I had to kind of isolate myself and get strong, build up the armor, and then I could come out and profess it and speak it and talk to people. And then when my friends are saying something, I can change it in a moment. I cannot take on that energy. I can leave, allowing them to be fulfilled and encouraged versus me to be depleted and them to feel bad because I'm just sitting there in the boat with you, sulking about whatever it is. Now it's like, well, how do we change this?
Yes.
Let's look at this in a different way. Let's not look at the mountain and say, we're never going to make up that mountain. Let's look at that mountain and say, wow, it's been done before. That means I can do it. We're going to do it one day at a time, one step at a time. Doesn't that feel good? And so that changed everything for me.
Yes. And that's true. It's the belief, it's the what you focus on grows, speaking life into it.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. One of my mentors always says, you must taste your words before you spit them out.
Yeah.
Danelle Delgado. And it's so true. Just being able to focus on that, and too, the whole truth in we are the 5 people we hang around. And, as you are going through that change and adding more just positive and personal development affirmations and, being really mindful of all that. Did you find it was a time that you had to kind of change your surroundings and be mindful of your energy and, inputs and outputs and that kind of thing?
Absolutely. My motto became speak life over your life. And I would be like, okay, so I have to ask myself, do you want to speak life over your life? Do you want to speak death over your life? The choice is yours, right? So everyone around me, I got the book. I think I bought the book for like 15 people. And I was like, oh, you got to read this book. Oh my God. So I was sending it to friends, family, everybody. Let's get on the phone. Let's talk about it. Let's grow together. This can change your life. Oh my God, right? Because, when you're excited about something, the first thing you're going to do is share it with your inner circle, and you want them to build and grow and benefit from it as well. And there's some friends that were left behind, and there's some friends that grew with me. A couple of them were like, they got the book, they end up reading it. It was like, oh my God, yes. I see what you meant, why you were so on me to read this book. And there were others that never did. And unfortunately, it's like, we just kind of grew apart, because the universe will put around you who is supposed to be around you. And as I'm growing, if we can't grow together, then, we still talk, we're cool, but we're not as close-knit as we were because I'm not that person anymore. So the things that they still like doing, I don't even do anymore. I don't have that desire anymore. Yeah. So as I started monitoring my energy and monitoring what I allow myself to be around, what I listen to, what I watch on television, what I do, and all these different things, that changed me in such a positive, fantastic way that I no longer allowed myself to be around people that spoke negatively, that just lived in this woe is me mindset, that would do all the things that I used to do. I couldn't do that anymore because I didn't want to digress. I wanted to keep progressing in where I was going in life. And so now I've kind of always been this, but now even more so. Now I'm like the motivational speaker of like my group. And so, when I'm out of town working, when I come back, they're like, oh my God, okay, so much has been happening. And I'm like, go ahead, I'm ready. I'm ready now, go ahead, let's go. And we can build and grow together in that way. And they're there for me when I have my moments, but now I have such a great knit of women, a group of women who, it's like we can do our own Women Who Shine, book series. And I'm like, after this, but I'm like, oh, y'all got to come on. I'm bringing all of them on. Kate, I got like 7 for you. Yeah. And all do this whole thing. We can all be a part of it. Because now the person you see today, the one that I've worked on to get to where I am, that's also the circle of women that I keep around me.
Yes, 100%. And even as you face auditions and things like that, being able to just speak life over getting that role and being involved in projects that you can pick and choose and know that you're aligned and, you're meant to be involved in things like that. Tell us
Yeah.
more about this show. Tell us
Yes,
more
yes,
about
yes.
the show.
So
The
The
third
Oval,
season.
Tyler Perry's The Oval. Yes, third
Yes.
season of Tyler Perry's The Oval on BET, and we are the #1 show across television and cable on Tuesday nights, which is like, what?
Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate
Yeah.
that. Thank you. But the show, it's a White House drama, so it deals with. It's not a political show. It's going to deal with all of the different things that are happening in the White House, all that good, juicy happenings. It's a soap, so it's going to keep you on the edge of your seat. So, I mean, it's crazy. It's tantalizing. It's a really fun show to watch.
I
I play
watched the
Priscilla
first
Owen.
episode and
Oh,
hooked. That's what I'll be
yeah,
doing.
that first
Later.
episode, you're like, oh, this is how we're starting the show. Yeah,
Yep.
that.
Yep.
I play Priscilla Owen, who is the resident staff supervisor. So she runs the staff at the White House. I'm married to Sam Owen. He's also over the Secret Service at the White House. And so now that we're in season 3, we're having this little love triangle between myself, my husband, and the First Lady. So it's so much that's happening on this show. But I'm really grateful to be a part of a Tyler Perry show, specifically because his style of shooting is unlike anything else that we do in Hollywood anywhere. And he has created his own lane for himself. He's created his own way to get stuff done. And in that, when actors come in, you have to learn the Tyler Perry way. And in doing so, it has stretched me so much as an actor because we shoot 100 pages a day. 100 pages a day, right? We'll shoot an entire season in like 9-10 days, which is like,
Oh, wow.
what? Like, what? Mind blowing.
Okay.
So what that means is we shoot out locations, right? If I'm working in the kitchen, I'm going to shoot all my kitchen scenes in one day. So for the entire season. So as an artist, you have to know where, and they're not shot in order. Because you have day and night, they got to change the outside to the inside. So you may do all your day scenes and all your night scenes. So you may go from episode 1, then 7, then 12, then 15, then 20, and then come back and do 3 and 6 and 4. And you know what I mean? Like it just kind of, it varies in that way. But as an artist, it teaches you how to really be able to use your instrument like that. Because the level of emotion that your character is going on in a typical show, you shoot and season in order. So what happened last week, we're going to build on that for this week, and we're going to do just a few scenes a day. I'm doing like 25 scenes a day for my character. Okay. So in that, because I care so much about performance, I have to be prepared in ways and levels I didn't even know that I can do. So it stretched me so much in ways that I'm like, wow, I feel like I can do anything. So now if I ever have moments of weakness, I'm like, girl, you want a Tyler Perry show? Go sit down. you can learn that in a day. Get out of here, you know. So I'm grateful. I'm appreciative. We have, stellar fans, you know, who love our show so much, and that's what you want. You want to be on a great show, a hit show. You want people to love it, and you want it to last a long time. And we're in season 3, and I'm really excited about that.
Well, and you should be. Many, many congratulations. Like,
Thank
what a
you.
fantastic project and people to work with and working with him. And oh my gosh, it's huge congratulations.
Thank you.
Then with the book coming out, and then the other project that you have going on that's coming out the end of this month, right?
End of April. Yeah, because what, April's tomorrow? Yeah. Oh, is it this month? I'm supposed to say that? Yes, end of this month.
Yeah, when is it? Right? Oh no,
yeah, right.
Exactly. So the Working Actors Academy.
The Working Actors Academy.
So this is an online course.
This will be an online course, and this is something that fell in my spirit to do like 3 or 4 years ago. But at the time, I got excited about it. I started telling friends about it, like, okay, I think I'm gonna do it. And then I started living with it in my mind and writing out what I wanted to do. And then the more I would get into it, I'm like, okay, should I really do this? Like, do I have enough credits to do this? I have over 60. Do I have like big enough credits? Are people gonna really want to learn from me? I coach actors. Like, it's like all these things, but these doubts and fears were creeping in my mind, telling me reasons why I shouldn't do something, when my spirit is like, this is what you should do. Yeah. And I didn't do it for whatever reason. Well, for all those reasons, I didn't do it. And then Masterclass came out. And then I was like, well, I can't do it now, you know? And as Masterclass came out, I watch it and I'm like, oh, well, this is everything that I talk about. Like, this is what I train my actors. I'm like, I could do this, you know? And so I kind of just took the book and made it a more of an online course, as well as the scene study and how to build characters and things like that, how to give a great performance. But it also talks about the business of acting, how to get started in acting, and how to be a working actor. Being in this business for a long time, I've realized that there are a plethora of career students.
Mm-hmm.
And what that means is people are just, they're training forever, but they're not working. And they may be great, but if they don't know how to audition to get the job, we'll never know your level of greatness because you're just a career student. There are thousands of them here all over. And I think it's great to train, but you also have to know how to train to get the job. And that's what my online course is going to do. It's going to teach you how to be a successful working actor, which is why it's called the Working Actors Academy.
Okay. Oh, that sounds awesome.
Thank you.
I can think of a lot of people that I know that would be interested in upping their game that way with a course like that for
Good
actors that are yes. And so it would be online.
Mm-hmm. It's online. It's a membership service. It's going to be $29.99 a month, and every month you get these courses, and you have to do the work. Now, that's one thing I am a stickler about is doing the work, because everyone wants to be just famous tomorrow. I want to put something on Instagram and I want to get 1 million views and likes. I want, but at the end of the day, you have to care about your body of work that you put out. You have to put in the work to be successful, and whatever that is, whatever you put into it is what you get back. So in the course is set up to give you practical skill sets, to give you homework so that you can go home and study, so that you know what to do, to look into yourself. You have to know your type. You have to know who you are. The better human you are, the better actor you will be. All those different things matter. So everything that I've learned throughout the course of my tenure being here is in this course so that I can help as many people as possible. And I am so excited. Like, I'm really proud of myself. I'm like, I did it. I overcame this big fear of doubt, self-doubt and whatever. And now I'm like, yeah, okay, so let's go. And so we shot it yesterday, and it was under my production company. It's called The Dream Is Real. That's the name of my production company. Because for a while, that was my motto, the dream is real, the dream is real. So now I have The Dream Is Real Inc. And we had the full production yesterday, and everyone was just like, oh my God, I even learned so much. This is so great. And I'm like, I'm excited.
Fantastic. And where is the best place that people can find out more about that course and everything that you have going on? Your lipsticks or your makeup line, is that attached to your website, or fill us in on all of that?
Yes. So the lipstick collection is called Taja V Simpson's lipstick collection. That and the book can be purchased on TajaVSimpson.com, just my name, TajaVSimpson.com. The online course is the Working Actors Academy. You have to go there for that. That's going to be launching a little bit later. So right now it's just the hosting page. And when you go in like a week or so, it'll be an opt-in, and then you can kind of go from there. But we're in the building stages. So, but that will be ready to launch at the end of the month. So now, but the lipstick is so interesting, Lisa, because forever I never wore lipstick or any color because I was always told I was too dark to wear color. And I believed it because everything around me is telling me what I can and cannot do. And I'm believing the masses. And my mom and friends would always try to get me to wear lip color. And I'd be like, oh my God, no, it won't look good on me. I can't wear that. I'm too dark and all of this. And I had a friend at the time who was like, you can wear any color. And I'm like, oh, Jesus, okay. So we're at this makeup store, and she's like, why don't you try on some lipstick? And I was like, if I try on this lipstick and you see that it doesn't look good on me, will you leave me alone? And she's like, yes. I'm like, great, ma'am, can I try some lipstick on, please? And she's like, well, what color? I don't know. Whatever color you think will look good on me. I just really want to shut her up. And so she's like, okay. So she comes over and she brings my lipstick, and I'm like, she's like, is this okay? I'm like, sure, yeah. So she puts it on me, and I'm just like, and then I look in the mirror and I start crying. And my friend is like, why are you crying? She's like, what, take it off. I'm sorry, you didn't have to do it. Why are you crying? And I looked at myself and I said, because I like it. It was at that moment I realized I was allowing everyone else's opinion of me to be my truth. And so at that time I was like a purple color, and then I went back and bought a red, and went back and bought a pink, and I started wearing lipstick. So I didn't even know that years later I'd be launching a lipstick collection. And when I did, just so happened the colors we selected were a purple, a red, and a pink. And so there's a trio of colors that are on there. The purple is called triple threat, the red is called leading lady, and the pink is called lights, camera, action. And that is the brand story for the Taja V Simpson lipstick collection.
Oh, wow. I love it. What a story. What a story. And what a
Thank
beautiful
you.
to be able to witness and take you through that realization.
Mm-hmm.
And, sometimes we have those angels in our life that they don't even realize how impactful
Yeah,
certain things have been. And
exactly.
oh, well, everyone, again, will have to catch you on the Oval, watch you there. And if
Yes.
the other upcoming things going on, and then with the course. And I'll be
Mm-hmm.
sure to link up your website and where they can find all of that information,
Okay.
all that. But I just again wanted to thank you so much for taking out the time to come on the feature interview tonight. It's been such a pleasure to have you on and just get to know you more and hear about all things going on in
Yeah.
your life. And yes, but thank you so, so very much. I truly appreciate it. And we'll all
Absolutely.
be cheering for you on your
Mm.
next book launch day, which will be this summer for Women Who
Yay.
Shine. Sure. Yeah, we'll be sure to get that out. You're going to absolutely love the community of women, of authors, as you get to know more of everyone. As I said, it's such a
Mm-hmm.
priceless community when you surround yourself with women that truly just, want to make an impact and see you shine and be there
Mm-hmm.
to see each other rise. And, it's such a wonderful community to be a part of.
Yeah. And I'm excited. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on today. I thought this was so insightful and great. I love being on your show. Like, this was awesome. So thank you for even having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. So we are going to end this one on Facebook for now. So again, thanks
Okay.
so much. This is Lisa Cara with the feature interview. Thanks so much for having Taja V Simpson on today. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Have a really lovely evening, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye.